Hi everyone, welcome back to Thorough Newspaper Analysis. This video is for the 7th of May 2024. Now let's quickly proceed and have a look at the pointers of discussion for today. So first of all, for the editorial segment, we have taken up for discussion an Indian Express article, and this particular article, it revolves around the concept of diplomatic passports. This is in light of the case of Prajwal Revanna. He is a Lok Sabha MP from Hassan constituency in Karnataka, and he is in news for all the wrong reasons. He is, in fact, one of the youngest parliamentarians, law makers that we have in our country. And, it's so unfortunate. He's somebody who's supposed to represent the voice of young India. He's supposed to be our face, our representative, making laws for the betterment of young India. But on the contrary, he's in news and he is shook our entire country, more so Karnataka, the political scenario there. Why? Because there are very severe, very critical allegations of sexual abuse against a bunch of women, which have come to the forefront against this person. So we'll have an understanding of who he is. He is a grandson of our 11th Prime Minister, former Prime Minister. We'll have a look at his case in just a bit, and then we'll get into the technicalities of diplomatic passports. Secondly, we talk about the news updates for the day, and this is going to be followed by the last segment of legal news. So without further ado, let's start with the article. Let's first see the title of it. The flight of Prajwal Revanna, how diplomatic passports and visa regimes work. Let's see the context of it. Let's first understand who this person is. Prajwal Revanna, he is an MP, a Lok Sabha MP from Hassan constituency in Karnataka. He belongs to the JDS, which is a regional political party in Karnataka. It is Janata Dal Secular. He is also grandson of our 11th Prime Minister, H.D. Devgowda. Why is he in news? There are a series of allegations of sexual abuse against him. And recently, last week, he fled India and went to Germany using diplomatic passports. Now, in light of this, let's understand what a diplomatic passport is. So the Ministry of External Affairs issued a statement in this regard and stated that no visa note was issued to him. But the ministry also added that visa note here is not needed. So why is the visa note needed? It is because Germany has certain privileges, as in we have a certain agreement with Germany. What is that agreement? That we'll understand later. But let's first see what is a diplomatic passport and who gets to carry this passport. So unlike the normal passports that we have, which have a dark blue cover and it's so valid for a tenure of 10 years for adults, a diplomatic passport, it is maroon in color and maroon cover, and it is valid for a term of 5 years or less. Now let's talk about the holders of this passport. So the holders of such passports, they are entitled to certain privileges and immunities as per the international law, and these immunities, they include immunity from arrest, detention, and certain legal proceedings in the host country. Now let's talk about which is the issuing authority for these passports, who gets to carry this passport. So the Ministry of External Affairs Consular Passport and Visa Division issues this diplomatic passport. It is a type D passport. It is issued to people who broadly fall in these 5 categories. So what are these 5 categories? Those with diplomatic status, government appointed individuals who are traveling abroad for official business. Then third category of persons include officers who are working under the branches A and B of the Indian Foreign Service, the IFS, Indian Foreign Services, normally at the rank of Joint Secretary and above. Fourthly, we have relatives and immediate family member of officers employed in IFS services and Ministry of External Affairs. Lastly, diplomatic passports are also issued to select individuals who are authorized to undertake official travel on behalf of the government. Now, this includes union ministers and MPs who often travel abroad representing the government. The validity of these passports, it is concurrent with the term of the MP. For instance, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi surrendered his diplomatic passport after he was disqualified as an MP last March following his defamation trial. So why did Revanna not need a visa to travel to Germany? See, typically the Ministry of External Affairs issues visa notes to government officials who are going abroad for an official assignment or any official visit. But in the case of Prajwal Revanna, no such note was issued. So let's see what did the spokesperson for the Ministry of External Affairs say in this matter. He stated that no political clearance was either sought from or issued by the Ministry of External Affairs in respect of the travel of the said MP to Germany. Obviously, no visa note was issued either. Now, this is because Germany, it is among the 34 countries with whom India has operational visa exemption agreements for holders of diplomatic passports. Now, why is this exemption given to Germany and what are some of the other countries? Let's see that. So, according to a reciprocal deal which was signed back in 2011, holders of Indian diplomatic passports, they do not require a visa to visit Germany, provided their stay does not exceed a term of 90 days, that is to say, nearly 3 months. India has similar agreement with the other countries as well, like Switzerland, Afghanistan, Austria. We have France, Greece, Iran. Then we have a bunch of other countries as well. India also has agreements with 99 other countries, wherein apart from diplomatic passport holders, even those who are holding service and official passports, they can avail operational visa exemption for a stay up to 3 months or to say 90 days. Countries in the list, it includes Bahrain, then we have Brazil, Hong Kong, Egypt, Oman, Singapore, and UAE. Nevertheless, Prajwal, he should still have applied for a previous political clearance for a private visit. In this respect, there is a bulletin which was issued by the Rajya Sabha Secretariat, which stated that members, when using a diplomatic passport, they are required to apply for prior political clearances directly to the External Affairs Ministry by using a link which is given here, and ensure that before they proceed abroad, the requisite political clearance has been obtained. Requests may kindly be made at least 3 weeks in advance. But here in this case, he has not applied for any sort of political clearance. So clearly, he has flouted a requirement here. The Karnataka Chief Minister, who set up an SIT to look into this particular case, has requested the Prime Minister to cancel his diplomatic passport and to take such further steps using diplomatic and police channels of the Government of India as well as international police agencies to ensure the swift return of the absconding Member of Parliament to face the full force of law, and very rightly so. So this is something that's a very welcome step. However, in this case, the government can revoke his diplomatic passport only after a court order to that effect. And in this regard, the spokesperson of External Affairs Ministry stated, and I would like to quote that out, as regards the possible revocation of the passport of any individual, I would refer you to relevant provisions of the Passport Act of 1967. We're not in receipt of any direction from any court in this regard. So an intervention at the instance of a court is needed here. As per the Act, the passport authority must impound or revoke a passport if the holder is in wrongful possession, or if it was obtained by suppression of material information, or if the passport authority seems it necessary so to do in the interest of sovereignty and integrity of India or friendly relations of India with any foreign country. It can also be revoked if the holder has, after the issue of the passport, been convicted by a court in India and sentenced to imprisonment for not less than 2 years. Finally, a diplomatic passport, it can be revoked upon orders from a court during proceedings with respect to an offense which is allegedly carried out by the passport holder before a criminal court. So this particular the eventuality is where the case of Revanna falls, which is that a diplomatic passport can be revoked if the court concerned orders so during the pendency of any proceeding which is carried out against the lawmaker or the holder of the diplomatic passport because of his or her alleged involvement in any offense. And now with this, we proceed to the national news category for today. And this is the first update here. Nepal to introduce new rupees 100 currency notes featuring Indian territories. Nepal recently announced the printing of a new rupees 100 currency note featuring a map that includes the Indian territories of Lipu Lake, and then we have Limpiadura and Kalapani. This is a move that has been contested by our government. Next up is an update in the category of sports for today. ISL 2023-2024 final. Mumbai City FC beats Mohun Bagan SG 3-1 and wins the ISL Cup. Let's talk about this update. Mumbai City Football Club, it has beat its Kolkata counterpart, which is the club called Mohun Bagan Supergiant. So for exam purposes, what we have to remember is in the Indian Super League Cup winner for the year 2023-2024, who is the winner of the series, this cup, it is Mumbai City. It beat the Kolkata counterpart, which is the Mohun Bagan Supergiant club. India's first indigenous bomber unmanned vehicle, it is unveiled in Bengaluru. Flying Wedge Defense. It's a Bengaluru-based defense and aerospace technology firm. It has recently revealed India's first maiden indigenous bomber unmanned aircraft. It is called FWD-200B. Former Ranji Trophy top scorer Milind to play T20 World Cup for USA. Former Ranji Trophy top scorer Milind, he is to play T20 World Cup for USA. Now we come to the international segment for today. This is the first update. This is also important update, and this is in the segment of sports for today. Thomas and Uber Cup 2024, China secures lead position both in the men's and the women's category. The People's Republic of China, it has reclaimed its position as the top players, as the top badminton nation, clinching both the men's and the women's title at the prestigious 2024 Badminton World Federation Thomas and Uber Cup finals. This is in Chengdu in China. Next up is an update in the category of personalities. Titanic Lord of the Rings actor Bernard Hill, he passes away at the age of 79. The entertainment industry, it has mourned the loss of a legacy, a legend in the field of entertainment industry. He is Bernard Hills, and he's left a legacy of art and creation that the world has seen, and now he's died at the age of 79. This has brought us to the legal update segment for today with the one update that we have coming from the Honorable Apex Court. If there are lapses by prosecutors, trial judges should play active role in evidence process. This is what the Supreme Court has held. Let's have a look at the case in a bit detail. So the Supreme Court has held that trial judges should take a proactive role instead of acting as mere tape recorders while recording witness statements. If there is any lapse by the prosecutor, then the judge should intervene and ask necessary questions to the witness to elicit relevant information. The court said that it is the duty, the Supreme Court has said that it is the duty of the trial courts to drive at the truth and to arrive at the truth and subserve the ends of justice. The courts have to take a participatory role in the trial and not act as mere spectators or tape recorders to record whatever is being stated by the witnesses. The judge has to monitor the proceeding in aid of justice. The bench further observed the judge has to monitor the proceedings in aid of justice. Even if the prosecutor is remiss or is lethargic in some ways, then the court should control the proceedings effectively. And why should the court intervene here? So that the ultimate objective, that is the truth, it can be arrived at. The court must be conscious of serious pitfalls and derelictions of duty on part of the prosecuting agency. Upon failure of the prosecuting agency showing indifference or adopting an attitude of aloofness, then the trial judge must exercise the vast powers which are conferred upon the judge under Section 165 of the Evidence Act, which empowers a judge to put any questions to any witness, to any party at any time, in any form, with respect to a matter which is relevant or to a matter which is irrelevant. Now, we know that in Indian Evidence Act, as per Section 5, read with Section 165, Proviso 1, and there are a couple of other sections in this regard, which is Section 136, which talks about admissibility. We clearly know that in Indian Evidence Act, evidence can be given only to prove a relevant fact or a fact and issue, barring certain exceptions. So here, the judge is given very wide powers, and the Supreme Court has said that judge should act upon those powers to elicit the truth. Name of this case is Anis versus State of Government of Entity of Delhi. So with this, we come to an end of TNA. Thank you so much for being with us.